Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let's see who's here. Okay, Lydia Washington was here first. Brenda Phillips is here. MJB, B. Martin. Okay, and Tosh Mack. Brenda Phillips. Did I say that already? Yes, I did. Lottie. Amelia Rodriguez. Diane Hawkins, Mary H., Gwen Daniels, Lola Love, Carolita Simone, Judy Mutasid, Rochelle Baudreau, Novi D., Yulibi. Okay, I'm going to just scroll all the way down. Just make sure I don't miss any super chat, super stickers. And of course, those milestones for the amount of time that you all have had. Your memberships, which I greatly appreciate. VS Speaks Royally. And let's see here. Thank you, MR, for the Cash App. Thank you very much. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Friday night or Saturday morning. Wow, there's so many birthdays for the month of April. What am I saying? April. For the month of October. Let me see. I forgot about the one on the 4th, and then there's one for the 8th. The 18th, the 21st. Oh, wow. And then when November comes, they just come rolling in. So, well, good luck. Good luck. I'll do my best. Joy Amore, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. I had kind of an eventful evening. I was enjoying at least I was trying to enjoy some Japanese fried rice. They have like the little packet that you can heat and eat in like 3 minutes, but they're actually very tasty. And sometimes when you don't want to cook, they come in just perfect. They sell them at Costco. Well, I was, you know, I the bowl was kind of hot, and I was trying to hold the side of the bowl with a pot holder, and it just slipped away, and I threw the whole bowl across the floor, and I had to do it all over again. Except for that little piece of chicken sitting up on top, it didn't touch the floor. But I had to do it all over again. But they're actually kind of tasty. I love those. Probably just enough MSG to start your day, right? Okay, so let me do this. I'm gonna get rid of my face. There we go. And what a lovely thumbnail. Now, this is one of my new favorites. Found a perfect photo. Harry and Meghan Duke and, oh, I'm sorry, H.R.H. The H.R.H., which of course always rubs the derangers. They're not H.R.H's anymore. They're not royal anymore. They quit. Anyway, Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. A new photo of H.R.H, Prince Harry. It may be new. I haven't established that, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Dan does it again. I hope you all watch the food truck bit. Well, not a, I don't know if it's a food truck yet. Food truck is when it's under 4K. That's a poor performance. So I made a video a little while ago, and I shared it, and we'll talk about that later. And let's see, Harry and Meghan plus more news and shade. Probably just a little shade, not a lot. Hey, Sherry Ware. Lady Metatrons. I don't know why that name always tickles me. Uh, let's see, Elizabeth Daniels and Dansby. And who else? Martine, Leisha, Legs. Couldn't get around without him. Let's see. Paula Fletcher, Saphir. Yes, okay, I think I got that right. Or is it safer? Or is it safer? Okay, this is here. Great. All right, so let's continue, shall we? So this is the photo. Better Up CEO. I'm sorry, CIO, Chief Impact Officer, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, with Better Up co-founder, COO, office is that Chief Officer of Operations, Eduardo Medina, and Patagonia, Chief People and Culture Officer, Teresita Richards. Okay. Well, anyway, so this was posted a little while ago. Now, I'm kind of thinking it may not be recently taken, but I think this is the first time that it was shared. And I don't know if anyone has mentioned this before, but the outfits that the guys are wearing, that is that is the Silicon Valley smart dress. That is the Silicon Valley look, where you wear a t-shirt or a crew neck long sleeve tee with your sport jacket over it, right? It's very casual yet smart look. And that is the Silicon Valley look. I didn't know that that was a thing, but when you see these tech conferences, increasingly you find that there are the guys are wearing that kind of like their dress uniform. So Harry, who seems to be on the cutting edge of fashion, I don't know how that happened to him, but since I know what happened to him. He got married. That's what happened. Anyway, he always seems to get it right. He never puts a foot wrong when it comes to his fashion choices. And I could only attribute that to the Duchess of Sussex. Can you guys hear me okay? I got the microphone sitting a little far away from me. I'm going to move it a little closer so you can hear every grunt, every sigh, every squeak of the chair, right? It's almost time for me to get another chair, I think. So I'm going to start shopping for another office chair because, as you know, I really use this one a lot. So it's time to upgrade or update or just get something new. I think I'm going to go back to the one I had before. I'm really surprised that this one lasts as long as it did. I didn't give this one much time, but it's from Costco. But I don't think I want another one. I think I'm going to go back to the one I had before. But okay, so but yeah, have you guys seen this photo before or not? I have not. So maybe they just posted it today to go along with the Uplift 2023. I don't know. But anyway, it's cool. I love the photo. Bright beaming faces and our adoptive son, Harry, right in the thick of it. Okay, now this one, I'm pretty sure you have seen this. Harry took some time during the Invictus games. I don't know how he did it, but look at the date there, September 14th. Of course, I had to look through Better Up to see if I could find any other references to that photo or perhaps some additional photos, and I could not. But then I remembered this one right here. We're grateful to Better Up Chief Impact Officer Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, for hosting a panel discussion with Dr. Brendan Nelson, president of Boeing Global, and Michaela Richards, grants and program director. Let's see, and we are Invictus. Yes, so that is, of course, Invictus in Dusseldorf, Germany, which is where Harry managed to find time to do this in spite of everything else that was going on. I don't know how this guy does it, but um, I used to worry about him, but I forget. He's had 10 years in the armed forces. He knows what he's doing. All right. And so here, this was the one that surprised us last night. Meghan Markle beams in selfie, that is, with Hollywood pal who calls Duchess totally low key. The TV host and journalist wrote that the Duchess of Sussex was fabulous and that they'd had a nice conversation. Now, it is unclear whether they were out together. I don't think so because she said just arrived in LA. When we went out for dinner, we ran into Meghan Markle, low key, I'm sorry, very low key and super nice. So hashtag girls night out. So apparently it was just a random running into Meghan, which is reassuring because we as squatties, we tend to believe that the Duchess of Sussex is living with constant fear of the paparazzi um, in Montecito. And of course, as we all know, in Montecito, there are no leaks. So this is reassuring to know that our Duchess is able to go out and enjoy an evening and nobody has ratted out her location or anything like that, which I'm not surprised. Not everybody is for sale. Um, and dare I say, I'm giving people too much credit, but not everybody in the service industry is going to, get on their phone and make that call or something like that. Some people in the service industry are very protective of their clients and customers. There's a great deal of discretion that happens in certain places, and then sometimes you just plain don't notice a person. Remember when Harry and Meghan went to lunch that time, and there was Carmen Diaz, and the press didn't even recognize her? What was it? A couple of days later, that they realized that she was having lunch with Carmen Diaz. So there's all these things that happen. Uh, I'm trying to think of another place. Meghan went to the Fisher House in out in LA somewhere, and there was no photos or anything that would lead us to believe that she had been there, except for her saying that about a month ago I went to the Fisher House. So that is reassuring. I feel better knowing that whilst we're thinking that they're just stuck in the house all the time, or trying to peer over the hedges to see who's there, they out there kicking it and going about their business. I mean, yeah, sometimes the paps get lucky, but for the most part, I think they come and go with relative peace of mind. So, however they do what they do and when and where they do it, I'm always glad to see our faves out and enjoying themselves. Um, of course, I have like about a 90% no pap photo policy, um, especially when they seem super invasive. Like right now, the paparazzi is targeting one of the Obama kids where you keep seeing her coming from the gym. And she's never smiling. She's never smiles, and it's just awful that they're allowed to do that. There's nothing so newsworthy about a former first daughter or former president's daughter coming and going from the gym, but um, you know, and sadly, I think they're just always hoping something horrible happens so that they can be there or say that they've had the last photo or whatever. But about this now, as you can see, Express, you probably recognize the fonts up there. That is the Express News. TV host and journalist wrote that the Duchess of Sussex was fabulous and that they'd had a nice conversation. Um, well, I saw in the comments where the Jennifer Sue, she posted this photo on her social media. And in the comments, you could see where some of the squaddies were like, please do not share this photo with the Daily Mail. Please do not share this photo with the tabloid media. And I would prefer that they don't, because, we had already seen the photo. So it's not like, oh, well, if she hadn't given it to them, we wouldn't have it. But they saw it and they wanted it. And who knows whether or not they asked permission. But right here, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, this is from the Express, made a TV host day as she ran into, as they ran into each other on the streets of Los Angeles. TV personality Jen Sue took to her Instagram on Wednesday, October 5th, to reveal that she and her friends ran into Prince Harry's wife. Irritating. Prince Harry's wife, where they had to, well, I'm sorry, where they had a, I'm sorry, Prince Harry's wife, that kind of got me, where they had a great conversation and took a selfie to commemorate the occasion. Arrived in LA, ran into the fabulous Meghan Markle. Amazing that is, way to start a trip, she wrote on her first post. In a follow up post featuring the same selfie, the Pennsylvania native revealed that the Duchess was quite the conversationalist, landed in LA on our way to dinner and ran into Meghan Markle. Totally low key and super friendly. Nice conversation, she wrote. Known mostly for her red carpet work for outlets like Sky News. Oh, God, not Sky News. Jen Su previously was the winner of the Taiwanese version of American Idol. As a result of her popularity from the show, Sue released 4 albums, originally born in Jenkinsville, Pennsylvania, of Chinese extraction. Oh, God, who talks like that? Of Chinese extraction. Sue is married to Del Bruce Levine of Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Their marriage was announced in the society pages of the New York Times. Oh, God. Sky News. Sky News. Okay. Um, well, you know, I'm sure that she's a nice person, and I hope people are not going to, you know, complain to her about sharing the photo and such. Um, this girl is just living her best life. She's not concerned about the uh, who's royal, who's not royal. People that have any form of celebrity is probably the kind of people that she gravitates toward, and there's nothing wrong with that. VS says, I had a feeling that this one would give up the picture to tabloids. It's a great picture, but left it on the app formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, she should have just left it there. Um, well, she has, I'll show you this. She has a big life. She has a big life. There she is, doing one of the hip hop something main event. What is that? BET Awards, green carpet, and also nomination for the late, okay, AKA World. Okay. Anyway, too many hashtags. And then over here on the right side, there she is outside of Radio City Music Hall. And these are just a couple of extra photos I pulled from here and there. But um, you know what? She's living her life. She's enjoying herself, and um, I guess all of her dreams are coming true. And I'm not gonna. Um, I have nothing to say about it. Do you, boo? Do you, boo? But let me try to put a positive spin on this, if I may. We have a chance to see our Duchess being normal, being girly and friendly, and holding a conversation with someone that she just met randomly. And so I have to reflect back to that occasion when I looked at the Express News on Facebook. Now, it's so rare that I'm on Facebook, but when I saw the Express News, there was about a 90% criticism rate of comments toward the Express. Must be a slow news day. Why don't you leave them alone? This is fake news. What difference does it make? That's the comment that these people were making. I promise you, these were not squatties. These were just people who, just like me, randomly came across the Express. And so the reason why I think about that often is that it gives me a bit of comfort knowing that so many people that come across articles are not persuaded into having this hostility toward people they don't know for something that they probably didn't do or didn't say, or that they didn't mean. So um I guess I'm trying to say, like most people, we just see the photos. You know that there's a implied bias there, especially anybody who's ever encountered the Express News knows how biased that they are, and that they just want the engagement, they want the clicks, and that's it. So um, for that reason, I'm going to say that it's not really a big deal that the young lady shared the article. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, not the article, but the photo. It's going to happen. In the long run, I think that these types of situations will go a long way to further humanize Harry and Meghan, whereas you had so much written about them, there were very few photos. The only thing I could really take from this moment that is especially endearing is the fact that at least it's not, the usual photo with Harry having a smirk on his face and Meghan looking like she's picking something out of her tooth with her tongue. The one I'm talking about from the where were they at? They were at the Invictus Games, The Hague. Remember that? And there was that one photo where it looks like she's, sucking on her teeth or something, and click. That is the photo that they use every time they want to convey a certain mood for Meghan. They have about, I don't know, 10 of them for Harry. They have at least two for Meghan. And those are the go to photos. So at least it's not that. Thank goodness it's not either one of those, because those photos right there, they confound me. I'm so over them using those same handful of photos. So this is not that, and let's be grateful. And I suggest take it for what it's worth. The only reason why I'm dwelling on this is because it seems like the Sussexes are more visible. It would appear that that's the case, and that they are going to be out more often, and that they are not as concerned about the um the photos and such. So let's not be concerned with them if that is the case. If they're not as worried about it, then let us not be as worried as well. Even though I know it comes from a good place because of course we all want what's best for them, but we have to we have to, if well, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is if this is like a new period of openness and availability, then we have to trust that they are doing what's best for them and not cloud it with a bunch of worry and despair. We don't want to send that negative energy. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Not as I guess articulate as I wanted to be, but yeah, a little clumsily put, but that's what I'm trying to say. Lex says, isn't it weird that you can write a totally nonsense article about seeing someone who they harass? I know that they try to make it positive, but we know how they operate. Well, let's see. Where was the snarky part of it? Where was the snarky part? Uh, Let me see. Oh, Prince Harry's wife. I'm surprised they didn't say Prince Harry's old lady. Prince Harry's wife. I'm like, Prince Harry's wife? Are you trying to reduce this self-made woman, this millionaire entrepreneur, philanthropic woman? You're trying to reduce her to Prince Harry's wife? No, that's the other royals that have their wife in tow. This is a whole person that married into that clan. Uh, so there's that, Legs. And I'm trying to see what other part did I not like. Oh, of Chinese extraction. Who wrote this? Hyacinth's bucket of Chinese extraction. Why is it even important to mention of Chinese extraction? Were they concerned that we were not sure exactly which individual was actually the one that posted, or what? Of Chinese extraction? Oh man, this is why do I keep going the wrong way with this? And let's see, was there anything else that stood out? Huh? No, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. So it was kind of like a stick and carrot, wasn't it? On the one hand, you got this. On the other hand, we're just as nasty and negative as we've always been. So, okay. All right, I'm gonna move on. Okay. All right. Good. I think we're good. All right. So the shirt. I don't know if you noticed the shirt, but Meghan seems to have an eye for the Ralph Lauren. Uh, okay. Meghan Markle love neutrals. Chris button down shirt is well documented, and the royal delivered yet another California. Oh, this was page 6, by the way. This one here on the left. I forgot about this. This one was page 6. Even duchesses love a discount. Meghan Markle love of neutral and crisp button-down shirts is well documented. And the royal delivered yet another California casual look as she posed for a selfie with entertainment journalist Jin Su and her friends in Los Angeles Thursday. Okay, so yeah, almost missed that one. And there is the shirt right there. That is that Ralph Lauren button down shirt. And oh, and some Ray-Bans. And some Ray-Bans. So it's nighttime. Let me sort this out. It's nighttime. So it seems like our Duchess was enjoying her day. Interesting. So she has her sunglasses off and it's nighttime, so it must have been a full day. Good for her. Uh, Oh, you're thinking about Matt? Yeah. With negated the pictures of Harry not smiling. Yes, true. And the British media was running with that narrative until those videos came out. Oh, and you know what? I think some of them were still continuing that narrative after, especially Angela Latrine. She was still sitting with Dan Wooten, singing from the same hymn book. Um, it's not without risk, right? It's not without risk, but I'm trying my best to keep myself calm, and if I can, convey that same calm to other people. Um, how did the Queen say it? I must be. They have to. I must be seen to be believed. I'm hoping. I'm not saying that I'm 100% sure, but I'm hoping that situations like this is going to go a long way to benefit the Sussexes. I hope it does. Nothing is without risk, but I hope it does because they have seemed more human to people who may be, straddling the fence or even skeptical or may have somehow allowed the negativity to define who they are. And this just takes away from that. This is a complete turnaround from that, as evident by the fact that so many people that, of course, are not even squatties, they just like the Sussexes, they go out and they buy these clothes. I mean, this is like gold for Ralph Lauren. And then, of course, there was the Ralph Lauren shirt that she wore to the Schaumakers in Dusseldorf, and the one that she wore when she went to the tennis match with the Mean Girl. So there's another occasion where she wore the Ralph Lauren, as they say in France, Ralph Lauren. French is easy. You just have to remember not to pronounce all of the letters. You get to skip the consonants, right? Uh, BS says our faves are living their best lives, happy and in love, even more with each other. I'm so happy that they are happy. Their energy is great. Yes, it is. They have great energy. That's something to think about. That's something to think about. Thank you, Mary H. Okay, continue. So this is the thumbnail from the video in the wee hour. Actually, it was about 9 o'clock this morning. I posted this one. So this is a complete rundown of the announcement, or yeah, the announcement about New York. But love that thumbnail. I love making thumbnails. I merely Googled Times Square and found a selection of photos and went with this one. You probably recognize that photo from when they went to that radio station. Yeah, Ralph Lauren is not cheap. Certainly is not. Certainly is not. But then again, it wouldn't be. Let me see. Is I'm gonna try to. Surely. Lynn E. Hello, Baron moderators and squatties. Thanks for allowing me to be a member of this awesome group. My mental health picker up. One love. Thank you so much, Lynn E. I'm so glad to hear that. Um, and interesting you should say that because I was speaking to Jerry White, and she was telling me how the community has been like such a boost for her to be a part of like the Sussex squad community, or just, even if you're not a squatty, if you're just listening in or something like that, if you can get anything out of it, then that is fantastic. But that we can lean on each other from time to time is a very good thing. So always glad to be a part of that. Thank you so much for the comment. And thank you for 4 months of membership. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, and now, dun, dun, dun. Should have had a trigger warning for this one. A small independent news site had to shut down after reporting on Dan Wooten. Bum, bum, bum. Well, I'm not going to play the video. I'm not going to, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just play part of it. I'll just play part of it, just the beginning part. And then we'll have a short discussion about it. And I'm going to have to not leave that photo up there because that is too intense. Dan Wood literally does creep people out. He does creep people out, and for good reason. I mean, because well, he's a creep, and he kind of creeps people out. So I am sensitive to that. I hear you. I get it, and there's really no good reason why we should subject ourselves, right? Okay. Cast your mind back to a time when you had a big idea, an idea you thought could be your big break. Some procrastinate, and then there is me and my group of friends. We put our entire life into our idea, and we never expected it to end in tears of panic and the threat of being sued for the little money we even had left. That's the story of Democracy Unlocked, a project group of passionate readers turned writers put everything into. The story of me and my friends when we saw a gap in the market for honest reporting, not dodging the facts but heading straight for them, no matter what the political dynamics at play. We saw it as our duty as writers to give our readers the absolute truth. We invested everything in this. It wasn't even about just the money, but the relentless hours brainstorming our next big idea, passionate and full of energy at any hour of the day, hoping that our readers would come to love our passion for the truth, something which has recently been lost in translation. We were never politically swayed. Our group of writers had many different views, and everybody knew that facts were more important than that. We didn't want to fit into a political box, but we wanted to be bold and honest in everything we did. Part of that was looking for the real story, the one nobody would mention. So we decided to publish the story of Dan Wooten and his alleged behavior towards people who considered him to be a reputable journalist. Little did they know, as Byline Times has reported, that Wooten was using that exact mindset to pursue them in secret under his alias Martin Branning, a fake online identity he has never denied being or being connected, although he does deny criminality. It's something we sat in shock comprehending. We saw it as our duty to look into these revelations and to get them out as quickly as possible, all the accusations compiled in an easy-to-follow format. We did our due diligence, reached out directly to Wooten, and gave him a very fair deadline, hoping that we could get his response in. The deadline passed. Okay, so I'm not going to play the entire video. That was like a third of it. But it is available to watch. So do check it out. It is very, very interesting. A little sad at the same time, but and as you can see, as I was prepping, I found that one photo, Dan Wooten tonight, no censorship. Who knows what that was about? But the thing is, the complete irony that has taken place is that someone who is constantly telling people that they're against censorship via his lawyers, one by one, they have been censoring everyone, even the big news organizations. Hey, Rohini, happy Friday. B. Martin says, Baron, our faves picks in Times Square. Wow, Willie is angry for real. Sure enough. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know what William's fixation is about trying to get to America and this competition in America. But the sooner that he realizes that that dog just ain't going to hunt, the better off everybody will be. He needs to focus on the Commonwealth. And Cheryl Bennett, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Friday and or Saturday morning. So yeah, that did happen, and they had to shut down the website. Now, um, I did manage to go on the website, but I don't know if that means that they are, well, you know what? I can't explain it. I'm not 100% sure, but they were able to respond to the shutdown by using Byline Time. Byline was kind enough to allow them, one of the founders, to write on the Byline Time website. So Byline Time so far is the only ones that are not backing down. They do have lawyers and they are better able to afford to defend themselves. But it's something about the way the laws work in the UK that if they choose to do so, they can pretty much shut you down by tying you up in court and pretty much costing you everything. So very, very sad. And these are just kids. These are kids. These are young people in comparison. Nicole Tannis, a member for 19 months. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. Long live Royal Sussex. Thank you, Nicole. That was very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I love your profile pic. I love your profile pic. That is amazing. Ah, nice. Very nice. Okay, and Black Queen, let's see. Hello, everyone. Oh, okay. You've been here, right? You've been here for a while. I didn't notice, but thank you. All right, so let me do that. Now, Project Healthy Minds. This is just in Prince. Oh yeah. So they said just in for some reason, even though we heard about it yesterday, and this just in was, hours ago for me. But yeah, so that is the story that is trending like mad, is that the Sussexes are returning to New York. And I have something to say about that. Here I go again, but please, 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 you all don't get caught up in the what ifs. Be positive, right? Be positive, be prayerful, be ever vigilant. But I can't help but think that they learned from their last experience in New York. Now, I believe the last time they were actually trying something new, and that was by exiting and giving them the opportunity to take their photos. Now, that did backfire in the most epic manner. And I was pretty sure that that means that we wouldn't see much of them for like a whole nother year. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. And they're in a good place. So I hope that everyone here is in a good place, especially when it has to do with their well-being. If there was any doubt, they likely wouldn't go to New York again anytime soon. But obviously, some things have been worked out, I'm assuming. And let's just go with that. Let's just be positive about it, because you won't be able to enjoy the moment if you're dwelling over the what ifs. Um, so that's what I have to say about it. You really can't enjoy the moment if you're dwelling over the what ifs. So let's, as I always say, let's trust the Sussexes. They got a handle on this. They have their people. I'm pretty sure that they have been in contact with the necessary um, public officials, if that is a thing. New York is a world class city. It is a major financial capital of the world, and they have people in and out of there all the time. So we'll look at last time as a teachable moment. We learned a lot, and now it's time to move on. It is going to be okay. Dusseldorf was okay. The well child was just fine, right? That was a little hiccup, but we're still on the right path. And they are living their best lives. And, for what they are doing and who they are, increasingly, it's going to require for them to live a public life. So they will have their private times, but they are still public people. They are world leaders. They are literally world leaders. They have a huge following. They are the most influential royals on the planet. And not to mention just plain nice people. So it is going to be fine. I promise. And if not, I am going to have a list of people. I have a list of people that I'm going to have a conversation with. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that, because I know how there's these anxious moments before, but yeah, I mean, Meghan was just out in L.A. and ran into people. So this is a new era, and we are going to move on with it. They're moving on, and we're going to move on with them. Okay. Hey, Nithalando, thank you so much for being here. Okay. Yeah, Lottie says, I'm glad Harry and Meghan are going back to New York, and the haters might as well get over it. And ain't gonna happen to them. I mean, ain't nothing gonna happen to them. They got this. Yes, yes, I am sure of it. I am sure of it. Yeah, and from all accounts, what people were saying about Germany is that there was so much more access to the Sussexes in Germany than there was in The Hague. Now, sitting at home, I wouldn't know the difference, but they seem to know the difference in comparison because of the experience of having gone to both. So, yes, Jose Williams, Dan Wooden is the king of free speech, and how ironic it is now threatening journalists with legal actions for reporting the truth about him. Yes, and thank you for saying truth, uh, because that's exactly how I started the video, was with the truth. That is Latin veritas. That means truth. So that is what everyone in journalism says that they want. They want the truth. So sometimes you have to go all the way back to an ancient tongue like Latin to get people to notice. But yeah, that's it. That is like the no holds barred truth monger himself, who is shutting everybody down one after the other, including major news outlets. Nicole Tanner says, Baron, my pleasure. I'm from New York, and I saw Bradley Cooper walking the street recently without any problems. So was Hugh Jackman. After his divorce, they didn't have any concern at all. Yes, and how about my favorite story, and thank you for sharing that, of me seeing Alec Baldwin walking up 8th Avenue in a trench coat. He was on his cell phone, and he was very nice too. I was like, "Hey, Mr. Baldwin," and he just kind of winked his eye and kind of shook his head. Um, and that was just surreal to see him in his natural habitat, walking the streets of the concrete jungle, holding his celly and talking to whoever. But yeah, that was so cool. I saw Anthony Bourdain. He wasn't so nice. Uh, he wasn't so nice. I said, "Hi, Mr. Bourdain," and he just kind of turned his head the other way like I had just sneezed or something. So, yeah, I realized I violated the code, and there is an unwritten code in New York where you don't engage with them. At least most people are pretty blasé about it. So, but what can I say? I'm an out of towner. I love New York, though. I really do. Uh, Beverly Isidore says when Prince Harry and the Duchess Meghan are in New York during the day, the drama is less unlike during the evening, they are well protected and will be safe. Yeah, and I think that last time there must have been like a almost like a bounty for photos. I cannot help but think that there was this huge bounty. But as the Duchess of Advocacy said, that because their appearances are so rare, that being more public will take some of the urgency out of getting the photo, because it's what do you call it? It makes it more exclusive instead of having a flood of photos. So that's not necessarily always going to matter. But if that is a factor, and if there is something that is, possible that it would take away from all of this excitement from the Paps, then it's definitely worth a try. I mean, ultimately, we want them to be safe, and we want them to be left alone. But if there's any merit to that, then let's hope that makes a difference. Let's hope that that makes a difference. But there's always a risk. Like any surgeon will say, there's always a risk with surgery, right? But you know how I am. I trust science. I trust the doctors. I like to believe that they know what they're doing. And so far, that has served me very well in life, is being able to trust, because, I just don't like to send a lot of positive energy when I can help it. Because it's like they always say, if you're always expecting something to go wrong, well, guess what's going to happen? Like with customer service, you ever like know someone who every time they go someplace, they're always looking for something to be wrong with the service, something to be wrong with this and wrong with that, and who I sat next to on the bus. And if that's your standard, God, that's got to be tough. But me, it's like part of the experience. Okay, that happened. I'm in this place or that place. I got this, I did that. If I don't like it, I just don't shop there anymore. That's it. But yeah, I can't hang on to all of that negativity like that. Okay, so I think my slides are out of order. I have no. Well, let me see what's next. Yeah, see what I mean? They're out of order. That wasn't supposed to be there. That wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be finishing up this. Our small site, Democracy Unlocked, had to shut down after reporting on Dan Wooten. Ollie Bloom reflects on the devastation of his group dedicated to telling readers the truth, which had to cease operating after receiving legal threats via his lawyers. Now, right here, that is the actual byline. You can see just right there where the date is located. That lets you know that Ollie Bloom wrote the article, which was so lovingly read by myself for the video that I just shared with you. Now, to continue, Democracy Unlocked. Twitter reactivated to give this a repost to our former readers. We cannot thank Byline Times enough for their genuine support for our story. They have been nothing but completely supportive. Check this out. Check the story out, and you can see the finger pointing down to the article, which is what I shared here. So yeah, and so there you go. And so that was posted today. So the what's his name? Peter Jukes. That's the guy from Bylines. Peter Jukes, and I guess the rest of the crew at Bylines, they were the ones that were very helpful to them. And I suppose they helped them to get, well, I don't know. But anyway, I think they had lost their Twitter as well. So Twitter reactivated to give this repost to our former readers. There you go. And this is their webpage. Now, if there's anything about me, you know that there's one type of person that I just can't stand. I mean, they just make me sick. Do you hear me? Sick. They make me sick. There's just a certain individual that just gives me gas. I cannot stand them. And you all know what I'm talking about, right? Who is it I cannot stand? Why does Royal Sussex exist in the first place? There is a certain type of person that I cannot stand. Anybody? Rohini says Democracy Unlocked needs to re-register their business outside the UK. I hope they will. I really do hope they will. Nobody's got it yet, huh? Okay. Well, I can't stand a bully. Oh, C-Mac got it. I can't. Ugly baldies. No, bullies. Thank you, C-Mac. I cannot stand a bully. So you know what I did, right? You know what I did. I made a modest contribution to Unlock Democracy or Democracy Unlocked. I made a contribution, Royal Sussex. Thank you, Royal. Your contribution of £10 is very much appreciated. Every pound you give funds our campaigning work to build a vibrant, inclusive democracy. You will receive a thank you email shortly. Okay. Well, there you go. So that's what I did. I decided that I would send a modest contribution, if for no other reason but for moral support, because that is just disgusting. And these are kids. These are the future of journalism. And these are kids that are very idealistic about the future. They want the world to be a fairer place. And then you have these bullies that have come down on them like a ton of bricks to suppress them and to prevent them from getting the truth out there. So I just thought, if it will refill the printer, if it will pay for a subscription for software or something, then so be it. But yeah, so that was my idea. If anybody chooses to do the same, that's up to you. But I thought, well, you know what? I know how to take care of people like that. I'm checking now to see if I got my letter from them. No, not yet. Oh gosh, I hope they don't try to mail it. That'll be expensive. I hope they don't try to mail me anything. I hope it's an email. I don't remember them asking for an email though, so ugh. Oh well. If they do, I'll reimburse the postage. That's what I'll do. Because I certainly don't want them to spend anything on me. All right. So that was that. Now, yesterday, this was a thing. I still feel the same way about it today that I felt yesterday. I feel like it was an affront. It was mockery. It was being a bit of a bully. All of those things. I did not like this. It was very, very inappropriate. And it's not so much that there's an able-bodied person in the wheelchair. I get the point, is that it's like a participation and all that. The thing is, it is mocking the work that Harry is doing to help people that may be dependent upon a wheelchair or dependent upon whatever, you know, good evolves from the Invictus games. That is what really bothers me the most, is that this is a big joke for her. This is a big joke. Um, yeah, that's all. It's a joke. I feel as though she and her team and William sit around and laugh after the fact, like there's some kind of scoreboard or checklist that they go through to make sure that they make as much nonsense out of very serious things or very important things. Well, that's what it is. And with every one of these interacting cosplay events, do you notice that there's always some point where she has her hands up in the air like yay? Remember when she was playing rugby and they hoisted her up in the air and she had her hands up like that? Is it is impossibly um, made up. It is orchestrated, and nobody says anything about it. It's go and pose, run, smile, pose, and do a lot of hand gestures. If those Republic people really wanted to make a point, they shouldn't keep putting the pressure on Charles. They need to go after these two. They need to go after these two. These are the grifters. They love to accuse Harry and Meghan of being grifters, but these are the grifters. This is the biggest grift ever. The biggest is Will and Kate. Those are the ones that they need to go after. They need to call them out for this nonsense. And I could assure you that when it comes to spending money for personal indulgence, I'm willing to believe that more public tax dollars are going toward those two than for Charles and Camilla. Because Charles has slowed down a lot, but these two, not so much. They're picking up steam because, not because they want to, but because they have to. But this is insulting. This is an insult. Um, who is copying who here? Who is the real, genuine, caring person between these two? Coincidence that Kate's PR team decided this photo opportunity soon after the Invictus Games? Serendipity? I don't think so. This is all quite deliberate and orchestrated. It really does leave me at a loss for words. I mean, I look at it and I almost forget to breathe. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I want to say something, but I catch myself. I want to say something, but then I catch myself. But this is an insult. It really is, and it needs to stop. So, this 4-year-old Anna Wintour interview is making the rounds. And of course, I have a soundbite for you. I thought it was new, but it is not. It's 4 years ago. And interestingly enough, Anna Wintour references Suits. You know Suits, right? That's that show that has come roaring back to the top of the streaming services, according to Nielsen. That Suits. So if it suits you, or if it's at all suitable, I would love to play that soundbite for you. Um, let's see here. Uh-oh, does it have sound? Oh no. Does it have sound?
And there, other women who, love to be chameleons and to change and surprise us. I mean, it's probably just a very easy decision to think about wearing the same thing every day and not to have to be concerned. But, I think maybe it's a little bit boring and it's time to change. I've been thinking a lot about Suits recently. So.
Really? Okay, good. I want to see that.
Thank you, the Duchess of Sussex, right?
Absolutely. Speaking of which, I mean, how do you, the new Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, she and Kate, obviously very different styles. What do you think that Meghan is bringing to fashion right now?
Well, I think that she obviously has her own style and has looked fantastic. I thought her choice of Claire for her wedding was amazing, and I think more importantly, obviously her style is fantastic, and she's. I think when she went on that trip to Australia and New Zealand, she was very respectful in choosing a lot of unknown Australian designers to wear, which was great. But I think more importantly, she's really bringing modernity to the royal family in a way that is inspiring. I think the image that I have in my mind, that I think so many people all over the world have in their mind, of the Duchess of Sussex walking down the aisle by herself, that to me was representative of a modern woman. And then looking at her extraordinarily beautiful and proud mother in the pew, to me that symbolized, goodness, this is going to be a different day for the British royal family.
Right. No, it was stunning. Anna, you and I.
Okay. So as you can see, that's is that Julie Brown? What is her name? Anyway, she very quickly changed the subject. I think she was just being a little bit too complimentary toward Meghan, so she quickly changed the subject to that time they had lunch with Princess Diana. But yeah, so there you go. That was April of 2019. So things have changed a lot since then. We're in a different place. The Queen is gone. Karl Lagerfeld had just died. Let me see. Andre Leon Talley was still alive. This was like what, 8 months before we started hearing about a virus. Almost a year before we were shut down. So that's where the world was at that time. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I thought it was a nice thing. It's a half hour interview. If you guys decide to go back and watch the entire thing. It was a half hour interview. It's very simple to find. Just look up Anna Wintour and what's her name? Julie Brown? Yeah, look her up, the two of them, and that's how I found it. And you'll know you have the right one because it's 30 minutes long. But yeah, so interesting. That would be amazing for Meghan to go to the Met Gala. It would. Tina Brown. Thank you, Terry H. Tina Brown. What? Oh, I'm confusing her with Downtown Julie Brown. Remember her from Entertainment Tonight or whatever show that was? But it's Tina Brown, not Downtown Julie Brown. Thank you. Oh, by the way, you all, I only got 2 more slides left, so I'm almost done. Can you believe it? I usually have about 40 slides. It looks like I only got 20 today. Okay, let me take that away. And let's go here. Okay, so Dr. Vivek Murthy, U.S. Surgeon General. Next week, I'm joining forces with the Archwell Foundation in advance of our national conversation on the youth mental health crisis. As Surgeon General and as a father of 2, I believe there is nothing more important than the well-being of our children. So the Surgeon General, the 21st Surgeon General in all of the history of the United States, he is going to be there next week in New York, and looking forward to working with Archwell or meeting with Archwell. And this is a very, very important topic, the mental health of the young, because we did not have social media. We didn't have people who could affect us, could affect our families so easily. People that we literally invite into our bedrooms, into our living rooms, into the classrooms. Wherever we go, we have our cell phones, right? We have our mobile phones. And because of that, all of our information is carried around in our pockets. All of our contacts. I don't even remember phone numbers anymore because of the cell phone. And on top of that, um, the kids, the young people, they can be targeted by people that want to do some pretty terrible things. They have these awful intentions. And there have been some people that have suffered losses in their family because of harassment from people online, from blackmail. Um, there's been grooming and such that has taken place because of the internet. And that is something that everyone needs to be aware of. And also, um, people assume so much. Oh, my kid won't do this. My kid won't do that. I'm here to tell you, I would love to believe that when I look at the news and I see all these terrible things that kids are up to or things that have happened to kids, I would love to believe I wouldn't be that person that gets caught up in that, right? Wrong. It could happen to anyone. It really could. There's so much pressure, external pressure on households because of the internet. So, looking forward to these conversations. I hope they will broadcast them some kind of way if they'll, um, what do you call it, stream them or whatever. Looking forward to it because this is super, super important. And for those of you that have adolescents in your house, look at it as an opportunity to educate yourself about what's going on out there because um, we want to respect the privacy of the young people and such. We don't want to look at their phones and get in their business. But um, yeah, knowledge is power. So one more slide and then we are done. Congratulations to Simone Biles, the most highly decorated gymnast ever. I mean, she's number one. She's the Serena Williams, the Muhammad Ali, the best of the best, the goat, all of those things. Um, yeah, as was it Petal who said that there are some um, things that are named after her. Some of the techniques are named after Simone Biles because there's just no one else who can do them. Could you imagine having a talent like that where you are the only one? There's nobody else on the planet. You're the only one. Kind of like being Aretha Franklin, ain't it? Aretha Franklin was known as the greatest singer of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. The singer everybody wanted to work with. Aretha Franklin's worst day was greater than a lot of people's best days. And so that's where Simone is right now. She is definitely head and shoulders above everybody else. So, and she's still young and she's still got some career ahead of her. So, and we will be there to support her. Right? All right. And with that, you guys, thank you very much for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you for all of the very kind and generous contributions. I may or may not have a list of right. I may or may not have a list of all of the contributions. There's a possibility that I have one. I mean, it happens miraculously. I just, I'm sitting there and all of a sudden, don't forget the list. So, or should I forget about it? Okay. Let me see here. Somebody's getting spoiled, right? Okay, let me see. All this time, and I still forget to look for the X. Okay, thank you very much for the Cash App, MR, and thank you, Joy Amore. Thank you, Lynn E, for 4-month membership. B. Martin, Cheryl Bennett, Nicole Tanis, thank you for 19 months membership. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this the safest space that it can possibly be. I have been going through the comments more often because it seems like with Germany, there was an uptick of, I guess, trolls in the comments. And some of them, I don't know if they're real people or not. But either way, I get rid of them. I block them. Yeah, it's amazing some of the comments that they make, and they're serious. Okay, I get the ones that say, "Oh, she's not a princess." Okay, I get that one. There's an argument to be made there, although I don't care. As a matter of fact, Mary H. Told someone, I was looking at the comments, Mary H. had told someone, she said, I don't care. That's what, or however she said it. She said, yeah, okay, but that's what I like to call her, princess. And I'm like, okay, good for you. And of course, I blocked that person, Mary H. So they won't be bothering you anymore, at least not in that name. They better make another account. Oh, they feel like this need to straighten us out and educate us. Go mind your business. Go stay. And the amount of people that will spend the afternoon trying to straighten everybody out, try to inform everybody. Those two are grifters and they're lazy. They don't work and they're not royals anymore. Seriously? Yeah, that's what they say. It's crazy. And that's not the worst of it, but okay. Okay. Now go over to Lady C's channel or something. Clarify the haters will not prosper. Every evil plot will fall into their laps. Thank you, Marilyn Farley. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, Black Queen. Thank you so much, and thanks for all your help. No, Mary H, you did the right thing. I'm just like, there you go. That's how you have to take care of these people. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Thank you so much for that. Mary H was not having it. She was just like, hey, I know what I said. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is our space. It's not their space. This is our space. If you want everything to go the way you want it to go, then go to a Deranger channel or start your own channel, and everything is gonna go the way you want it to go. Rohini says, "Let them piss us off, and we will buy Meghan a tiara." You know, I've been thinking about that, Rohini. I've been thinking about that. I'm not sure that Meghan would ever wear one, but I have a feeling that when the time is right, um, it'll be just at that point where we will have a tiara delivered to Montecito. It'll be just about that time. uh, Maybe have it spell out Montecito um, across the tiara. Yeah, Montecito. Or there are no leaks. Have it spelled out on the tiara. Yeah, and I wish she would have worn the Spencer tiara. Gosh, I wish she would have. But trying to satisfy everyone and plan a wedding at the same time is a very difficult position to be in. But that would have been great to wear the Spencer tiara. But who knows if it was even actually offered. Um, but I think that was the plan from what I heard. That was the plan. And then they were like, no, no, no. Check the royal collection. It will be interesting. I hope that someone writes a very credible book about um, the last days of the Queen. And I mean something that will shed some light on the people controlling things at that point. Harry is of the opinion that the Queen's wishes were being ignored, deliberately ignored, at least from what I gathered from Spare. And it would be interesting to know the truth about that. And not from Harry, but from someone close to it. If someone would, blow the whistle and tell the truth as it actually happened, I would be very pleased to know that. So, what have we here? Oh my goodness. JK, thank you so much for the very kind, thoughtful, and also generous PayPal. Thank you very much, JK. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much. Let's see here. No, thank you. Okay. So I was seeing if there was a message included there. Big Mama, I didn't know you were here, Big Mama. The fact that Harry's dad is the King of England and he married Meghan, that makes her a princess. The haters need to just get over it. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, technically, Meghan is a princess. Now, the style is Princess Henry of Wales, but she is a princess. And so they don't even believe that. And then there's some of them that say they're not royal anymore. They quit. And I'm just like, well, how does that work out, Prince Harry? Uh, was born to that family, and he's always been Prince Harry. So how are they not royals anymore? But they listen to some of those crackpot channels. They listen to some of those crackpot channels and they just believe it. They need to believe it. Harry and Meghan are almost through. They're done. They're done. Why does she always touch him? And then you look at the video and he's the one touching her. Did she have to help him up? There's a big difference between a gesture of, support where you put your hands on someone to reassure them, considering that person is close enough to you to do that. And then, of course, there's actually leading a person. But I just, I don't know what to say about those people. But I guess if the way that they gaslight and they, I guess, put so much propaganda out there saying otherwise, some people, their vision has become clouded. Their judgment is off. Oh yeah, Princess Henry of Sussex. Yeah, Princess Henry of Sussex. Yeah, and that's always confusing to me because in the army, Harry used Prince Harry, Prince. What was it? Prince. I'm sorry, Captain Wales. But that's because Charles was the Prince of Wales, and they were using the Wales as the in place of a surname, right? So now that Charles is the sovereign, it seems as though and Harry has a royal dukedom. There's dukes, and then there's a royal duke, and a royal duke is someone who has been conveyed their dukedom from a member of the royal family. That when a male member of the royal family is married, a senior royal, then they are conferred a dukedom or a royal dukedom. So royal duke is usually the offspring, the child of a sovereign or a grandchild. So that's where that one comes from. Um, the Queen offered titles for Princess Anne's children, and Princess Anne declined. And and then also, I believe that Edward also declined um, a different. Well, Edward could have been a different type of a duke of a different name. Like maybe he could have been a Duke of Sussex, but he declined because he wanted the Duke of Edinburgh. And so he waited all this time for it. And then even after his father died, and then after his mother died, okay, his mother technically was the Duchess of Edinburgh, right? Because Philip was a duke. Even though that was the case, they still could have gave it to him. He was supposed to get that dukedom when Philip died, period. And the Queen did not push the issue and left it to Charles. And Charles tortured that poor man, um, and just even played with the idea of not giving it to him at all. And I think the only reason why he got it was because of all of the pressure that was placed upon him, and also because of the Sussex children, because they got their prince and princess titles when the queen died, not gifted by anybody, but conferred by the royal patent from George V. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, but it's kind of like with the Orange Menace saying, "I'll be the Speaker of the House." I didn't know that that was a thing. I thought you had to be a member of Congress to be the Speaker of the House, but apparently you don't. So you can be the Speaker of the House and not be a member of Congress. Interesting. I found out that you don't have to be a lawyer to be a Supreme Court justice. You don't have to know anything about the law. All you have to do is have the name submitted by the president, and then of course you be approved by the Senate, and the next thing you know, you're a Supreme Court justice. Don't even have to know the law. I think the last time we had a justice that did not practice law, it was, gosh, I forget his name. He was in there for a long time too. The one that was there before the Chief Justice we have now, the last Chief Justice before that, he did not. He was not a lawyer. Yeah. Yeah, I studied civics and I've never heard that before. That was a surprise for me. That was a surprise. But I don't feel bad because you know what? I'm pretty sure most people didn't know it either. uh, and the same with the Speaker of the House. I'm pretty sure most people didn't know it either. Um, I was listening to very interesting spaces the other day on the on Twitter, or the social media app formerly known as Twitter, and you can tell that the guy that was having this exchange with the moderator, you can tell that he was looking up stuff. He started talking about redlining and you know contributing to um, the education system and housing and things. And I'm like, you just looked that up. This guy was from Australia. No way he's ever heard of redlining before. Tangerine Mussolini can't be speaker because of his 91 felony charges against House rules. Thank you. I feel better. I feel better. Although I don't think he's been convicted yet, right? Let me see. Meghan is Princess Henry of the UK since the Queen died. Archie and Lily are Prince and Princess of Sussex. When Phil died, the title went to Charles by law. Um, did it, Hazel Jones? I mean, it was up to. I mean, because Charles is the Duke of Lancaster. Lancaster is a duchy. Now it is up to it reverts to the crown, right? He can confer it to anyone he chooses, but I don't think it was automatically given to him. Just like the title Prince of Wales is not automatically given to the heir to the throne. Uh, Charles had to give him the title Prince of Wales, which he did immediately. But that is not something that's automatic. They mentioned that at the time that Charles, because if you recall, when the Queen died, um, William and Kate had their people change their website to call themselves the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall, which is the goes to the Prince of Wales. But he didn't automatically turn into Prince of Wales until later on, when Charles said that they will be known as the Prince and Princess of Wales. So that's not a given. That has to be conferred by the crown first. And of course, they have that. Don't they have like a little ceremony for that? which they probably will not have one. I doubt if they'll ever go to Wales and have a ceremony like that. If they know it's good for them. If they do, it'll probably be something very small in comparison to the one that Charles had back in the 60s. Yeah, and if you remember, Charles didn't actually have his, what do you call it? His, what do they call that? The confirmation or whatever, until the 1960s. They had a big formal event for it. Your man of liege. And then, of course, there's the other thing. No, it wasn't made up, Adrian. That title goes back when they conquered Wales once and for all. They created the title Prince of Wales as though it was a principality. Well, it was a principality. There was a Prince of Wales. It wasn't a kingdom. I believe it was always a principality. And usually a principality is created with the consent of the sovereign of a much larger, more powerful state. Like, for instance, the Prince of Liechtenstein, that was something that was obliged to that family by the Holy Roman Emperor of Austria, the Archduke. And the Archduke, they never referred to the King of Austria as the king. They called him an Archduke. So some places they would have principalities, and some places they would have a dukedom. And Wales was a principality, but they wanted their independence. They didn't want to be subject to the to England, and so they kept killing off the what do you call it, the Prince of Wales. And so, in order to give the Welsh some feeling of autonomy, they created that title, the Prince of Wales, which is more of an insult than it is anything else. But I'm sure that I got a lot of that wrong, but I'm kind of close to it if I recall the history of it. But yeah, it was a principality, just like what is it, Monaco. Monaco only existed because the King of France allowed it to exist. But at any time, France could have just, run those Grimaldis out of there. Okay. I guess Elaine is gone. I was like, okay, now where's Elaine? Because she she usually fills in the blanks for me, but I know it's late, so I'm just like, where's Elaine Parker? I say it, and then I look to see what Elaine Parker has to say. And Diane Hawkins, you're usually sharp on that stuff. What say you? Did I get any parts of that right? Okay. Yeah, the Wales title is ancient. Yeah, the Prince of Wales is the crown prince. The Prince of Wales is the crown prince. If it was any other country, if it was Denmark, it would be the crown prince William. If it was any other place, it would be crown prince. But only in the UK do they say Prince of Wales, meaning the next one to take the throne. And of course, out of all the siblings, if Charles would have had 5 siblings, then whoever the crown prince married, that would be the one considered to be the Princess of Wales. Instead of crown princess, they say Princess of Wales. That's the only thing. So anytime you hear them say Prince or Princess of Wales, It's the same as with Sweden or Denmark. Is they're really saying crown princess. That much I'm sure of. Okay, so when the Queen died, all of Charles' titles merged with the crown. Then the Edinburgh title was free to give to Ed. Exactly. It reverts to the crown. And they changed the rules because Edward cannot pass that title on to his children. They did a rule change there. Um when Edward dies, then the title goes back to the crown. And I'm pretty sure that that wasn't exactly what Edward was expecting. I don't know what happens with the York title. Now, there's no male heir for the Duke of York. So I do believe that that York title goes, right? I don't think there's going to be another Duke of York unless it is a title conferred to one of William's children. That's it for the Duke of York. Same with the Duke of Sussex. Since the Duke of Sussex didn't have any legitimate male heirs that was recognized by the crown, the first Duke of Sussex was unable to pass the title on to his children. And so the title went unused all those years. And then it wasn't ever a Duchess of Sussex until Meghan came along. Meghan is the very first Duchess of Sussex. I'm sure there's some monarchists right now listening that are probably wringing their hands in despair. Um, uh, yeah, the H.R.H. That's up to the monarch. That's up to the monarch to give or take the H.R.H. The H.R.H. is it's like a level of how much of the sovereign grant you can expect. It means royal protection. It means financial help. So, okay, the Duchy of Lancaster, that is a duchy that is for the sovereign, right? And the Duchy of Cornwall, that is a duchy for the Prince of Wales. So it was automatic that Duchy of Cornwall, which is what Charles had all those years, was going to go to William as the Prince of Wales because that duchy was created as a source of income for the Prince of Wales because there was a time when kings, queens, crown princes or princes of Wales would end up in a lot of debt. And so the Duchy of Cornwall is basically a bank account that the heir to the throne can draw upon until he or she becomes sovereign, right? And so that is the reason why there is a Duchy of Cornwall. And it's same with the Duchy of Lancaster. That is the personal piggy bank for the sovereign. So while the Queen was alive, there was no Duke of Lancaster, but she was the Duchess of Lancaster. And of course, the Queen would rule as, you know, the ultimate ruler, the or reign, if you will, the sovereign without anyone else. They reign in their own right. So, but since they changed the rules when Charlotte was born, they changed the or was it before when Charlotte was born or before she was born? There was the rule that the oldest male. So if Charlotte would have been born first and George second, then George would still expect to be king one day because it skips the girl. It always skips the girl until they changed it by letters patent, the same as the George V patent, by letters patent, which I guess is signed by the Privy Council and all those people, they changed the rules that whichever comes first, boy or girl, that's the next one on the throne. So that is the only bit of modernity that I could imagine in the royal family. That was the last big act created for an heir to the throne. Probably the biggest thing since the George V letters patent. So yeah, that was the last big act, was to not have any preference for gender. Um, you think so, Rohini? You think so? Are you sure? Because I thought. Now maybe that's only for the non-royals, because I know with the non-royal dukes, if there's no male heir, then that title dies with the last male heir, right? So I think there's only 19 dukes in all of the United Kingdom. Um, but yeah, I wonder about that. I wonder about that. But as far as I know, there's not supposed to. But you may be right. You may be right. But especially with this slim down monarchy, I mean, what's to say that William won't give the Duke of York to one of his kids? Yeah, that would be interesting to find out. I tell you what, why don't you take a look into that and then get back to us, because I'd like to know. I would like to know. But I was thinking that it would just go because um, uh, when it comes to a non-royal, a woman cannot pass it on to a like if the duke only has girls and there's no other male heirs, cousins or uncles or anything like that. Like if the Duke of York, um, let's see, okay, so if the Duke of York was not a royal dukedom, if it was just a title that's gone back centuries with a family, if the Duke of York died, the title wouldn't go to the girls, it would go to a cousin, right? Or even an uncle, but it wouldn't go through the woman's bloodline. It can only go through the male's bloodline. So that's why I was assuming that it would just disappear. And see, the first what do you call it? The first Duke of Sussex, he didn't have any legitimate male heirs to pass it on to, considering that he married a Catholic, and then he married another one without permission, and so they wouldn't allow the kids to have titles. Let me see, because okay, I'm not sure. Maybe you're right. Let's see, Baron, that was true. But lately, there have been some exemptions made. I saw a documentary on PBS where the title passed down to a daughter because there was no son. Now, I saw a documentary myself where they said that there was no males to pass it on to, and that the girl could not have it. Now, again, they do change the rules sometime. They do change the rules. So, yeah. You know who we need? We need that what's his name? That little horrible little uh gastrointestinal bulge. What is his name? David Starkey. That's who we need. We need David Starkey. As much as I can't stand him, I think he might know. This means that as long as Prince Andrew has no legitimate sons, the title will never revert back to the crown upon his death. I'm sorry, the title will revert back. That's what I thought, Lydia. That's what I thought if he didn't have any sons, because I know with the commoner, well, not the commoners, but the non-royal dukes. I saw that documentary, and they did not have a male heir to pass it on to, and so the dukedom, and even on Downton Abbey, the Earl of Grantham, um, the daughter could not inherit the title. The title was going to go to a cousin, to her cousin. And then the Lady Grantham got pregnant with and lost the baby, but she had a boy that she was pregnant with. So they had three daughters, and then they almost had the boy, but she fell and lost the baby. And so then the title still was going to go to cousin Matthew, right? Now, that's how it works with the non royals, with the aristocracy. But with the royal dukedoms, I'm sure they will make an exception if they so choose to. I think it takes a vote in the House of Lords and consent from the ruling monarch. Uh, okay. Okay. The House of Lords or Privy Council, whichever one it is. Let me see. Royal dukedoms are inherited in the male line, just like a non royal. Changing the law concerning dukedoms would cause huge problems. That's why they don't worry about Harry losing Sussex. Well, yeah, Hazel Jones. I know they don't want to take the title from the Sussexes because it would it would make it too easy to start picking and choosing. It's like a nuclear option. Once you open up that uh, situation, then everybody will suffer. So they don't want to do that. That's like that when they kept saying that why don't the cabinet get rid of Trump? Why don't they do that? What was it? The oh gosh, the 25th Amendment was it? But once you do that, then you can't undo it, right? You can't undo it, and then it's going to happen all the time. That's why it was so important to get Trump out of there because Trump messed up so many conventions that should not have been affected. Um, without tradition, without a constitution, whether it's a written constitution or, you know, not, but without those precedents in place, it can really mess up things like people having faith in the economy. There's a reason why Chinese people put their money in Western banks, right? There's a reason why they do that. They don't trust their government. There's a reason why Russians put their money in Western banks because they don't trust their government. So if you would have someone hijack the presidency and seize power because of some insurrection or coup attempt, it would change things for us forever. We would never be able to go back because that opens up a door that should not be open. The peaceful transfer of power has been a long standing tradition ever since George Washington. And George Washington, the slaveholder, yes, George Washington, whatever you want to say about him, after 8 years, he went back to Monticello and he lived out the rest of his life there. And that started a tradition of leaving without a fuss. Don't go riding into Washington and try to take it back. And for that, that is one thing that I am grateful for where George Washington is concerned, is that when it was time to go, he left. He didn't try to stay the ruler forever and pass it on to his children and such, he left. And that's the best way to do it. That was a lesson learned by so many governments around the world, is that you just, when it's time to go, you go. Right? You don't try to seize power, because anytime that happens, it only makes the situation worse. And without that peaceful transfer of power, there would be no real faith in anything for this country. That was a scary time. I cried for a couple of days on after January 6th. And to think that all of these MAGA people so gleefully were willing to mess with that thing just so that they could win. Yes, Roseanne Campbell, he is a massive racist. He's all of those things. He is. He's awful. He's a dreadful person. Let me see. The American dollar princess, wealthy American woman of the late 19th and early 20th century, married into the title European families in exchange for wealth, the dollar duchesses, right? Wealth for prestige. This also went on with the UK dukes. Yeah. Yep. The dukes would marry for money. They take that money to uphold those crickety old houses. You know, one of the things that really upset the dollar duchesses when they would marry into those families is that they get over there and find out that some of them didn't even have indoor plumbing. The only basin was somewhere down in the bowels of the house. And they were still, we're talking about the like up until the 1920s, they were still bringing ceramic buckets of hot water for a bath. Some of them, a lot of them, those homes were not really suitable. Yeah, I hate to be that what do you call it? That what is the word I'm looking for? That snotty, uptight American, but um there's a lot of things that we didn't get right in this country, but electricity, plumbing, and such, proper sewage, that's one that we got right. Um, they had passed a law that ensured that everyone would have access to electricity and that you wasn't going to have to pay a fortune because you live someplace rural. The cost would be absorbed throughout the system. And that is one of the reasons why the nation was electrified early on, because they passed that law. Yeah, I'm still shocked, though. I am still shocked that in 2023, you still have people buying heat. I saw that documentary where the guy was going to top off his heat at one of the local like cigarette shops or whatever, tobacco shops, newspaper stand, whatever that place was, some convenience store. He was going to top off his heat. He run the heat for like 6, 8 hours a day, and then at night the heat goes off. And there's some people in the UK that are still living like that. I saw it in the movies, like from back in the 60s and stuff, where you would put the coin into the thing to heat your home. But there's still people that's doing that today? Seriously? I have had more apartments than I care to count, right? And only one time did I ever have to pay for heat. And that's because it was an all electric unit. So, electric stove and the heater and the air conditioner was one and the same. And even then, and we're talking about the 1990s, even then, actually, wait, I moved into that place. It was back in like 89, 88 or 89. My electric bill soared up to about $60 a month, right? And during the summertime, with me running the air conditioner constantly, I mean to tell you, my air conditioner, it's on now, and it's October. I run the air conditioner constantly, and my electric bill is like maybe $80, right? I'm literally paying the same thing now as I paid then. And when I didn't have to pay for electric heat, my electric bill was like 30, $40 a month. I'm talking about around the year 2000. So that's a scandal. That is a scandal. I really feel for anybody who is going through that to heat their homes, especially some of the pensioners that work so hard to build the economy, and you're topping off a card for heat. LDSW, you mean like buying oil to heat a home? Oil heat is quite expensive based on my experience living in two houses with oil furnace. Nothing like the oil tank going dry in the winter. No, I'm talking when I'm said top off, I saw this guy go to a shop and they topped off his card so that he could use it on some meter at home. They have meters in the flat, and that's what he was using to heat his apartment. I don't know whether it was a gas, oil, electric, I don't know what it was. But I just saw this not long ago in the UK where someone was topping off a card to heat their home, whereas they used to use a coin. Now, I know I didn't imagine it. Okay. Oh, well, you know what? 1960, um, there's some twisted people that want Trump to be president so bad they were willing to discard the United States Constitution to make it happen. So I don't, I don't know what to expect from them. Oh, here's the letter I was looking for. Dear Royal, thank you for donating to Unlock Democracy. Your gift of £10 will power our campaign for better politics. We believe that many in this country are sick of a system that doesn't work for them. We know there is an alternative, and we need to get the message out there. Thank you for your generous gift today. We can now reach more people on social media, get more mentions in the press, and forge stronger relationships and alliances with organizations with the same goal. Best wishes, Tom Brake, like brakes on a car, Tom Brake, Director, Unlock Democracy. I like that. I love it. I love it. That is very cool. That is very cool. I am glad. I am glad to help send a message to say to the world that we are mad as hell and we're not gonna take it anymore. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Now everything is complete. Connie Balmer is here. And Connie Balmer, I meant to get off of this thing about a half hour ago, but they keep talking to me. So um, let me see. UK heating card. So, okay. Okay, payment meter explained. Okay, y'all ready? This should shed some light on what I saw. A prepayment meter is a type of domestic energy meter that lets you pay for energy before you use it. This type of meter is also known as pay-as-you-go meter. Prepayment meters offer flexibility, allowing you to pay money when you choose instead of paying a monthly bill. This can make it easier to budget since you don't need to wait for a monthly bill to arrive. You can also build up credits during times you use less energy, for instance, during the warmer months of the year. With a prepayment meter, you will pay standing charges and you will need credit to keep your appliances running as normal if you're away. You may want to consider it if tariffs or other payment methods could be more cost effective. And then it says reading your payment meter. How you take a reading will depend on the type of meter you have. It's usually very simple and involves pressing a button on the meter. You should contact your energy supplier if you need help taking a meter reading. Girl, bye. Bye, Felicia. I ain't got time for all that. I ain't got time for all that. You see what I mean? I told you that I saw something and the guy went to the store to top off his cart. Mm-mm. I don't like that system. I don't like that system. Uh thank you. Is it Lisette? Thank you very much. And let's see, how do you pronounce that? Zoch? Lisette Lotz? Oh, I'm sorry, Zoch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't like that top the meter business. Let's see. Whoa, meter heat to warm a home, like buying heat using something like a social service card, like an EBT card used by low income residents to buy food. Yes, that's what the guy had. It was like buying a phone card. I'm telling you what I saw. He went to a store and he only ran the heat a few hours a day because that was all he could afford. Whereas in the US, if it's wintertime, y'all know I'm about to get ghetto. If it's wintertime or if you have someone in the home with a disability, they cannot turn you off. They got to keep the heat on. Not that I've ever relied upon that rule, but you know what I'm saying? If you have someone that has a medical disability or something like that, um, you could actually get through the whole winter and you don't even have to worry about it. But don't listen to me. That's how people get in trouble. Let me see, Baron. There are still people who use coins for their gas or electric meters to top it up. Sometimes it's actually cheaper. Good Lord. Oh, well, um, I'm telling you, in the UK, they are paying way too much for um for heat and electricity, way too much. Um that I mean, yeah, there's certain things that we pay too much for, but heat and electricity, yes, it's expensive and it ain't getting no cheaper, but we still pay less than a lot of countries. Okay, let me go to my chart. Let me tell you how much gasoline costs right now. Now, per liter in US dollars, In the UK, a liter of gasoline. Well, let's go to pounds. Okay, we'll do dollars first. Okay, so a liter of petrol, gasoline, in the UK right now, it costs 1.877, right? 1.877. Okay, 1.877. In the US, it costs 1.069. 1.877, 1.069. So we're paying about, we're in between Namibia and Sudan. Puerto Rico, let me see, the cheapest place is Iran. They're paying 0.029. The most expensive place is Hong Kong, 3.089. But the UK, let me see, is 1.877. Okay. Now let's do this by gallons to see what the difference is. So a US gallon, this is the average for today. Not everybody's paying the same price because some places have higher taxes. So the UK for 1 gallon is paying the equivalent of $7. Wait a minute. What is that, dollars? Oh yeah, that's dollars. Yeah, so the equivalent of $7. $7 is 7.105. So I think that's rounds it up to $7. In the US, in comparison, we're paying $4.22. I repeat, $4.22 compared to $7 and 7.105. So $7 versus what we're paying. And it's always that space in between. That never changes. Which is a shame because isn't there a British oil company? Why are you all paying that much? Why are you all paying that much? That is an unreasonable burden on the consumer. Unreasonable. And yet they post, just like in the US, record profits. The oil companies always have these record profits. Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here. Let me see. Anna PLP says, I think that's why the firm hasn't taken the titles from them, because if they do, Meghan will be rightfully called Princess Henry of Wales, which it will not sit well with the new Waleses. And Anna, we just gonna call her Princess Meghan. That's why when people be tripping about me saying Princess Meghan, I don't know why, because if she wasn't the Duchess of Sussex, we'd be calling her Princess Meghan. Would nobody be calling her, ladies and gentlemen, Princess Henry of Wales? That wouldn't happen. They're going to say Princess Meghan. So that'd just be a way to shorten it. Oh, did you? Let me see here. Really? Would it be under a different? I mean, because I don't want to say any names, but would it be under a different name? Because there was something a little while ago. Let me see here. Gosh, they changed the format on this thing. They're always trying to get you to sign on to something else. So yeah, let me go out and go back in. Maybe it'll be easier. Okay. Okay, so I see something from first initial J, second initial K. And then yesterday there was someone from that sent something with the initial S and K. So there was a J and K today and a S and K yesterday. Does that sound right? Oh, JK. Oh, there you go. Yes, JK. I did. Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I had said thank you and I did the bell. Thank you very much. Yes, that was very generous and very kind of you. Thank you so much. And also, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. 1960 says you can't have fixed budgets for energy in California too, based on your income. If you're lower income, but a lot of homes have solar because it's much cheaper. Plus, we get a lot of sun here year round. Yeah, that is good to know. Thank you for sharing that. That's a scandal, though. That is a scandal. And I'm gonna tell you guys my other soapbox issue that I have is the lack of housing. The lack of housing. Every place you go in the world, there is a lack of housing. And these municipalities should not allow Airbnb. They should block Airbnb. They're taking affordable and even the unaffordable housing off of the market. Airbnb is ruining the housing market. It's ruining the housing market. Municipalities should not allow that. I don't use it. I do not use it. I stay at a hotel. I do not use the Airbnb. I call me naive, call me self-righteous, but I would not enjoy the idea of knowing that I'm taking housing away from people who need it. That's outrageous. New York has put a stop to it. New York is going to fine people that use Airbnb. Well, not the people, but the homeowners. They're going to fine them. I'm so glad to know that too. I'm so glad to know that. Yep, that is outrageous. My aunt told me that the wise words that she received years ago is that if you're not able to pay your rent out of one paycheck, you really have to consider whether or not you can afford the place you live. And unfortunately, most working class people, people that are not making the big bucks, they're working a whole nother job just to pay the rent. That is really sad. That is really, really sad. And Americans are incredibly productive as workers go. The Americans are not lazy and they're very productive. I know I was one of them. I have worked so many different types of jobs where it was lots of blood and sweat and tears, backaches. And, I've had some that were easier. I had some that were tougher, but I've had all kind of different jobs. And I'm here to tell you, I've worked with some people that worked extremely hard and were not being paid a living wage. Living wages stopped about 25 years ago. they stopped paying the living wage. Actually, I'm going to say about 20 years ago. By the 1990s, that was a thing of the past. Salaries have not kept up with inflation. And it should be. It should be. New York has put a stop to it. They have put a stop to it. You guys know that some people that have an Airbnb business, they have like 5, 10 units in the same building. They just use that collateral to buy another place and another place. They'll have several units in the same building. I don't mind paying extra to stay at a hotel. I really don't. I don't even. I don't have the app on my phone. I don't think about it. If I can't afford it, I just won't go. I don't even think about it. Yep, call me smug and self-righteous, but it is it's a scandal. Good. 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 That'll fix them. Yep. Yep. And also, they have those wild parties at some of those places, right? Now, what if you go and stay at some place and there is, let's say, a powdery substance that you don't detect? There are some of those substances that that are very toxic. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what happened in there. At least if you're at a hotel, there's a less likelihood that there was some big wild party. I mean, people do have parties in hotel, don't get me wrong, but it's less likely that someone who's staying at a hotel will have that type of thing happen as it would at some, Airbnb somewhere. Um, and then, too, there's an issue of liability. I'm sure that the people with Airbnb have insurance, but I'd rather have a big hotel chain liable for my safety than someone's empty flat somewhere. I wouldn't want to take my chances with that. And then what if you're staying at an Airbnb and somebody's looking for, Ray Ray or something like that? Ray Ray, you ain't never heard of Ray Ray. But next thing you know, they say, I'm looking for Ray. You know what I'm saying? Uh-uh. Nah, that's okay. That's okay. I don't trust that. I'd rather be someplace that is more commercial, more centrally located. Um, all of those things. Let's see here. Oh, who's going to bed? Yeah, yeah, that was in New York, right, Reba? That's why I was saying you never know. There might be something um around. I mean, that could happen anywhere, but I have seen where they have trashed those Airbnbs. They have trashed those places. And did you guys hear about the bed bug outbreak in Paris? Ugh. Every time I think about it, I'm itching. I'm like, oh, every little thing. I'm just like, is that a bed bug? Yeah. Yeah, well, I tell you, I'm very liberal and very in tune with working class people, and I think these bourgeoisie oligarchs need someone to stick it to them. I'm very proud to be a working class person. I feel like people like us have built these economies, and therefore, it's the working class people that are the real heroes, not those with all that inherited wealth and stuff like that. It's the working class people. They're the heroes. Like the nurses. Look at how nurses go into situations that a lot of people won't. I always think about the nurse during the global pandemic of what, 1918, that documentary that I watched, and the nurse took care of this soldier, and the soldier uh, slept for a couple of days, was just out of it, and he woke up, and the worst of the illness had passed, and he was recovering, and he remembered the nurse that took care of him, and he asked about her. This is a global pandemic. He was a soldier, I think, and he asked about the nurse that took care of him, and they told him that the nurse had passed away, that she too had become ill and passed away. Now, how many professions do you know where, even in these modern times, that someone would be so, um, I guess, gracious to have that much self sacrifice to take care of people instead of staying home sheltering somewhere? They went out there and they took care of people. They couldn't be with their families because they were taking care of people, and some of them died. Not many professions where you have people do stuff like that. Those are the heroes. Those bus drivers that made sure people still got where they needed to go. The clerk at the supermarkets that kept the stores open. Those are the heroes. Not the people that made all that money from the PE, whatever that stuff they were making money off of during the pandemic, the face mask and the protective gloves and stuff. Remember, a lot of people were cashing in, especially people in the government. Yeah, those are the heroes. Oh, really? Oh, that's incredible. Uh-oh. Um, okay, you guys, I gotta go. I gotta go. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Sorry to abruptly take off like this, but I'll see you guys tomorrow.